Good afternoon. Wish you warm welcome. I'm sure that morning session, I and definitely Dr. Ravi sir has taken a good session, and again we have a, you can say, good number of speakers to share all these valuable insight to you. Now let me invite Mr. Ravi, founder of the Gaining Ground. Have a loud applause. Now I would like to do one announcement. I think Mr. Suresh has left, na? So anyone due to some reason is leaving early, okay? I have a that memento for all participants, so please remind me, okay? So in case any reason anyone is planning due to some personal reasons or maybe professional reason, maybe after lunch or maybe 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, what could be the reason? Please remind me so I can collect your feedback form and I can hand over the memento to you. So it would be a one gift from all of us. Yes, Ravi sir.
Real listening is very hard. Listening requires 100% attention. I'm lucky that you all had coffee and I can make you listen to some of my whatever I want to share with you today as an IFA for the last 10 years and how I've completed my CFP and how Keyur sir has helped me to complete the final module without any hesitation, and how he got me that confidence.
Next on this.
My name is Ravi Kumar, and I've been an IFA for the last 10 years. And my company is called Gaining Ground Investment Services. So this is my, I want to just share my story with you. I started my career with an ad agency. I moved to an online ad agency later, and then I went to a TV channel. I was doing more of a sales and operations job. Initially, I started with a finance background, and then I moved to a sales job. So what experience I gained was, it gave me an ability to connect with the people. The learnings were, what is the importance of a client when you do any business? The role of a client is actually an added dimension in whatever you do. Building relationship with the clients, understanding their businesses, identifying thought process is the most valuable skill you get. So I started off with investment services. The first point of connect is just like your LinkedIn. When you sign up, you see the initial friends and ex-colleagues. So I went to them, I started talking about investment concepts, whatever I knew, power of compounding, equity potential, asset allocation, investing disciplines. So I took this to everybody I knew in my circle. But gradually, clients wanted a detailed planning as their investments grew. They wanted in-depth analysis. What is that they want to do in life? How can I actually give a brief explanation of that? I'm sure most of you would have done some initial modules and then would have stopped for some reason. So I was also in your same boat. So initially I completed the 4 modules, and then I didn't take up the final module. I looked at the syllabus. It said case studies and there's no multiple choice where you can randomly, guess and click an answer. It required detailed practice of all the case studies, understand situations. So I somehow gave a backseat for the final module because real life gets in the way of dreams. You're carried away with doing more business, family things, all this will happen. So recently I enrolled for Keyur sir's video learning program and I started seeing the benefits. So another question is why CFP profession, how it is helping me in my earlier days and now, and for the client. For your client, you being a CFP, you're actually adding a meaningful contribution to his life. By doing this, his quality of life changes. And the bonding with the client is so much that he seeks your involvement in all the big decisions. Whether he wants to sell away his major asset, or when he's moving out of his job, or he's taking any other big life decisions. For you as a professional, it's a very powerful tool to grow as a financial advisor. So the journey can be very challenging, but it will help you in a massive way. So right now you'll have questions whether should I enroll or will it really change my business? So the whole course will actually change the way you interpret information. So right now you understand power of compounding, all these things, but how do you turn information into some meaning? And it also makes you a self-employed, responsible person, and it gives you a professional approach. So I'll just talk about video learning. I'm sure Keyur sir will give you detailed information. So it's a very simple process which is worked well for most of the students. And all I can say is it can be absorbed very well. The concepts, he clearly explains whether it's a complicated terminology or it's a simple one. He has a 5-step process, logical and magical. So the whole focus is on the process. And most practical problems are solved, which you can relate to your own personal finance or to your client's portfolio. And it's very clear and simple. So what is that which is required from your side is the practice. So just not enrolling enrolling will not get you there. So the more I practice, the luckier I get. Gary Player, one of the famous golf player. So he says, it's not the luck, but it's the practice which will make you luckier. So the video learning program actually focuses on certain things which, practiced very well, will help you to complete the CFP. So the case studies, he gives you very good support in terms of pre-training, post-training, during the examination, which means my previous speaker has covered most of the things. I'm thankful to him. So he will, Keyur sir will actually guide you and he will give you that confidence, because just before going to the examination you have all that anxiety, am I really prepared to take up the examination and all that? So he will give you that confidence. So his course is more of supporting your decision to become a successful financial planner. So next I go up, how do you scale up your business? Some takeaways which you can, I'm sure it will help you. So have good processes and systems. It will help you to save time. My previous speaker, I think he mentioned about time, which is the biggest inventory with us. Always be client-centric, which will help you in a long way. Include the life angle when you advise. Clients really don't know what they want to do. You should not project yourself just that managing money. They expect you to, for you to manage the emotions. That's the biggest challenge. If you can, be successful in that, the journey becomes very easy. Customers, clients, and advocates. So this is more of a categorization. So customers are people who come for a transaction with you. Clients are people who stay with you for long term. Advocates are customers or clients who will not give you big business, but who will refer you to others. So your focus has to be more on advocates, because that's where they're doing the PR for you. Have strong research, analysis, and instinct. So strong research will help you for the products or for the recommendations you give. So it develops a kind of greater confidence and conviction in whatever you recommend. Finding your own niche market is possible. I think in most developed countries, CFPs or financial advisors are trying to get into that. It can be teachers, or it can be lawyers, or it can be doctors. So gradually, I think one will figure out. This is not compulsion, but I think if you can figure out that, that will be a bigger market. So I come to charging fees. So how many of you here would have experienced exotic coffee in a very high-end cafe? You must be paying some 250, 300 rupees for a coffee, and for that exotic name, which you don't know what are the ingredients or anything. But you enjoy that coffee. Honestly, most of them don't enjoy. That's the truth. So what is that 250 rupees you pay for that coffee?
The ambience
and time spent.
Okay. So if I relate that for the fees, what you charge, let's say you charge 10,000 rupees to a client annually, and you give the best service to the client, and you want to increase the fees, let's say 15,000 or 20,000 rupees. How do you do that?
First of all, how do we put that seed in his mind that it's not going to be free anymore?
Yeah, so you'll have to discuss that. If the client is not willing to pay, then he's not your client. Move ahead. So one quick
No, I don't know. First of all,
discussing with the client. You start discussing with the prospect. So I charge a fee. I also get commissions and brokerage from the products I recommend. Okay, it's a combination. So this is how it works. So you can choose your client.
No, is it different service giving by chartered account and the advocate and the CFP? They are also putting a board, people are going, they themselves giving fees for the service they are taking.
Right.
So here it won't be like that.
Correct. So,
See, I'll give you the reverse example. When I go to the doctor or a lawyer, at the end of my treatment or a problem solving session, without he asking, I'm going to open my purse and offer the fees. In this case, before even offering any service, how should I start asking money?
no, you propose that this is my fee for the services.
No, a doctor won't do that. A lawyer won't do that.
So there is this concept of instant gratification, right? So there is a result that you are seeing immediately after you meet a doctor or a lawyer.
But in
He
this
solves the
case,
problem.
there is none.
So the result is there, but 15 years, 20 years
How do
later.
I bring that
So that is
15
the
years
conversation,
now?
Okay, I think
that's
there is something called letter of engagement. When we met the client, initially we discussed what is the kind of services that we provide, and earlier speaker also discussed what is we are expecting from the client. And it's a mutual agreement, it's a written agreement. We will mention the fee and what is the source of our revenue also. Whether we are getting the fee, we are getting the commissions, we have only fee-based financial plan, that we will decide. Then first we will, along with the first discussion, we will discuss the same also. So the customer will be also clear about that. Okay, this is what I have to do.
No, that means customer is going, whereas here we are going.
See, this is actually budding industry. That culture has yet to come to India.
that's
So
right.
this is our role.
It is
This is our role to advocate this culture.
How do I initiate that culture is the question. How?
That's letter of engagement always helps, and it is all the major cities it is coming.
Yeah.
Don't know.
So let me just interrupt. So basically, it is just if I just give you one example. In US, it took 100 years to doctor charge a fee. Okay, in 1800, 200 years before, nobody was paying fees to doctor. But it took 100 years in US. So today, if you take a metro city example, starting from example Mumbai or Bangalore, there are 100 odd planner you will meet. They are basically starting with the construction of financial plan instead of selling products. So that is the game changer, na? You are saying I am not here to sell product. Okay, I am here to construct your comprehensive financial plan, your life roadmap. Okay, and for preparing that life roadmap, I will be charging 10,000 to 15,000 fee based on the number of hours I have to provide the service over a period of 1 year, 6 month review. And after that, you have freedom. If you want to choose me as a distributor, it is fine. Okay, if you want to choose your distributor, I don't have a problem. So here we are charging fee for construction of financial plan. Okay, so that's how we are talking about goal-based financial planning, and that's the reason client ready to pay for the fee, because client in last 20 odd years faced the many ups and downs, and they have realized that there is no free lunch in this world. Okay, so in case if someone is offering the free service, end of the day they might end up with the low yielding instrument, higher charges in the product, higher lower return in the products. So that's how over a period of time you can do it, and I suggest that those who are skeptical about fee, they can engage with some of the practicing CFP, and they can also keep in touch with them over a period of time. In Bangalore, they can visit their office, how they are functioning. So that could be a good source of value addition over a period of time. Yeah, please continue.
There's also a related example. So in US, there was a small survey which was done. So people paid a lesser fee to a doctor who was in his casuals. People paid a higher fee to a doctor who was wearing a stethoscope, and people paid much higher fees to a doctor who was wearing the formal, the white coat. So it is in the perception of the patient or the investor. So we pay a higher fee when you're having the coffee, because that is what it sees with the eyes, and that is what the eyes are buying. But in our profession, we're dealing with something intangible. So how do you relate that fee, a higher fee, is a question. So your prices and fees are just not prices and fees. They are the communicators of the quality of your service. The higher the price, the higher the perceived quality. So you charge a higher fee the perceived quality of your service is very high. So build your own brand. You are the brand, because brands attract people. Always give better experience to attract long-term clients. Yeah, that's it. That was
Quick 3 questions from different group. Meeting the customer, you can say, okay, I can help you to save minimum 50,000 rupees expense per annum. I can help you to reduce the interest rate. I can help you to reduce the debt and become a debt free. I can help you in your estate planning. There are, you can say 10 plus ways where client can save money or generate the higher return. So that would not be problem, provided you are equipped with the knowledge and skill set. Today problem is that many of time, example, one is not equipped with the knowledge and skill set, then he is finding the difficulties.
Sir, when you are starting the profession of fresh right now, it may be easy, but if I'm already in the business for the last 5-6 years, most of my existing customers are used to getting all these kind of things free per se, but in reality they would have been paying it through distribution commissions and other things, right? So now how do I go back and change their perception that Nagaraj is not free going forward?
Perfect. So over a period of time, I said, earlier Nagaraj was not having a CFP qualification. Now Nagaraj has CFP qualification. He is talking more louder in goal-based financial planning, or because your wealth is knowledge. So earlier you were acting as a distributor. Now you act as a financial planner. And then again, give a real life example. Earlier, when you used to go DMart 5 years before, the polythene bag was free. Now they are charging you 5 rupees per polythene bag. So over a period of time, change is the constant.
No
So
polythene bag, 20 rupees only cloth bag.
I don't know.
Or you can offer 1 year free.
Next time you will remember
This
to
shows
carry
that
the bag because you don't want to spend 20
When you talk to your existing customers, you can introduce yourself in a new way and say, sir, this year free since you are my privileged customer, and make him experience the difference
Value added.
over a period of time, maybe in 6 months, 1 year. What is the value he has added? What is the amount he is saving? You also will understand that how much you can charge to him. If you have saved 30,000, you can think that I can charge 15,000.
Can I answer this? Nagaraj?
Yeah, please.
Actually, I forgot to answer your question right now, just now. And you didn't ask me also. It's like this. You have this predicament now that you are already running with a set of customers, and now you want to charge them. You don't know what to do. Your fear is they will walk away. They may walk away. Okay. There are 2 ways to handle this matter. Two ways to handle this matter. Forget about existing people. Don't charge anything from them. Okay? No problem. They will not go away.
Is that able, please?
Is it okay? So, whoever is the existing customer, leave them alone. Because you are otherwise going to give them a shock treatment. Leave them. The new ones are coming. Once a month, few people are coming. There you experiment and try using your techniques. If that succeeds, try to replicate the other place. Very good. Keyur bhai also said something. Because you are not damaging the model.
Yeah.
Correct, no? So that's one thing. Second thing is, I myself will tell you, your predicament, I got to see recently, 4 days back, I was in Hyderabad along with 2-3 of my colleagues. And one gentleman, one lady came. She is the general manager, State Bank of Hyderabad, retired. Her son is working for a IT company in Bangalore. Another son is working in Philippines. And her husband is also a retired person. She said, all of us are paid. My youngest son is saying he doesn't want to pay money. In a family, I am collecting 4 checks. My company is collecting. Why? Their needs are different. The fellow sitting in Bangalore, every day he'll give a call. Now from 2009, they have been our customers. He says, why should I pay money? I was never told. In this city, people who are practicing will find this. Most of the IT employees will say, because they are foreigners keep asking them, no, I was not told, you didn't do. Like that, they will also demand these kind of things and tell you, you didn't tell me. So my person said, okay, I didn't tell you, but now I'm telling you. No, but 5 years you're not told. So immediately I stopped my man, vice president, told him, please slap a notice, a bill for the last 5 years. That is the extent of arrogance with which I could talk. Not everybody can talk, that's okay. But the fact is, I think you've got to make your presence felt. That if I had done free service for you, that lady also said the same thing. 20 rupees for a polythene bag or something. What was free is not going to be there. Another thing, why don't you justify? You sell mutual funds, isn't it? Okay, mutual funds, how much were they paying 5 years back? How much do they pay you now? What is their cost? Don't you get increment when you are in employment? I don't get anything. So that's the way you should don't start crying. Sometimes it will be very difficult. So practice before the mirror 20 times before going to a customer. Then only you'll be able to talk these things. Otherwise you're always fearing he will leave. Anyway he's going to leave. So become bold, sir.
Small moment from all of us. Okay, now let me invite Vikas Agrawal.